Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 144 of the Runnin the Paint podcast. I'm Miles here with Joey, Nick, and Ben. Guys, how are you doing today?
Feeling good, feeling great. Got a good episode with y'all.
I'm awesome. Like I told you guys, I got the Bible here. We're going to have the Holy Spirit running rampant through episode 144 today.
Yep, it's certainly going to be a fun one. Today, we are starting the first of our top 10 lists for each position, starting with our top 10 point guards in the league. We have some schedule news to talk about here today, and of course, we have POELTL. So hope you guys enjoy this one. Let's get right into it with POELTL. Nick, who are you guessing for our first player today?
Well, we are doing our top 10 point guard list, so I'm going to pick a guy that we probably won't get to talk about, just left off the list by a scratch, but CJ McCollum.
CJ McCollum. All righty, so it's going to be a guard in the Western Conference that's 6'4 or 6'5, less than 30 years old, and number that's higher than 5.
I could have sworn when we started doing POELTL, wasn't there a section for like past teams?
Well, it's where if CJ McCollum, if our player had played for the Wizards in this situation, then it would be yellow.
Right. Oh, I see. Okay. If he had previously played for the Wizards. But like since CJ played for New Orleans and Portland, like that doesn't give us any help.
Correct. So our player, the player that we're trying to get, has never played for the Wizards. But yeah, I mean, a Western Conference guard that's 6'4 or 6'5. I mean, I feel this could be a lot of different players.
Our guy last time was Austin Reeves.
That is who we tried to guess. Do we want to go with Austin Reeves? He does fit everything.
We'll go with that.
AR-15. Let's go with it.
Let's get this closer.
Austin Reeves. Okay, so it's going to be a 6'4 guard that is 28 or 29 years old and wears a number higher than, or 18 or higher, that is not in the Pacific Division. So a guard that wears a high-ish jersey number, because usually guards wear, single-digit numbers.
Booker's a single digit, right?
Yeah, Booker's 1.
Let's see, 6'4".
That's 28 or 29, so essentially middle-aged for good NBA players. Let's see.
What about someone on Memphis? I was thinking like Santi.
Yeah, but he's not a guard.
Oh.
The thing that's going to be tricky with this, since we're still in the off season, is players randomly switch jersey numbers in the off season. So usually I'm good with jersey numbers, but if this is a player that switched teams, then I'm out of luck on this one. But I still think we can get this. Let's see, man.
28 or 29.
That is not in the Pacific Division.
I'm trying to go through teams like San Antonio. It's not Vassell or Castle or anything, obviously.
Portland doesn't really have anybody.
No. Klay Thompson's in his 30s.
Yeah.
Is anybody on the Thunder in this age range?
Thunder, no.
Keith Wallace? Oh, wait, no, he's too young.
Not that old yet. That's even though they just won the title, they're like the youngest team in the league.
Yeah.
Nobody on Dallas comes to mind. Could be wrong.
Shoot, that's kind of tough.
This is tough. Wait, who?
Minnesota. Anybody on them?
Oh,
Minnesota, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
San Antonio Spurs.
No.
Isn't Russ? Well, Russ isn't.
Well, Westbrook hasn't signed yet.
Houston.
Yeah. I was thinking Houston 6'4 guard. But that's the strangest thing. Like, what 6'4 guard wears like a big jersey number?
A bench player?
Right.
Yeah, maybe it's someone at the end of a bench that's 28 or 29 years old.
See, I'm terrible with the end of the bench guys now. I used to be good at them.
This is definitely tricky.
What number is Fred VanVleet?
Fred VanVleet is number 5. Do we want to try, just to try to get division down, we could go with Tim Hardaway Jr. I don't know what number he's wearing now, but he just went to Denver. in the offseason.
Okay.
I'm cool with that.
Try just to narrow down this jersey number.
On Denver. Okay.
I don't think Christian Brown is this old.
Bruce Brown?
Oh, there you go.
Bruce Brown just went back. You're right. Oh, my goodness. No?
Whoa!
How is it not him? That's crazy.
Dude, almost everything fits except this jersey number. Okay, Denver Nuggets.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my gosh. Is this Jamal Murray?
Oh, yeah, he is 6'4".
I'm going to lose our mind. I'm going to lose it.
Oh.
Someone who we were talking about earlier in the pre-pod lobby.
We went from
A point guard, very good point guard, but we got him in 5. Took 3 Denver Nuggets players. We were thinking too hard.
Horrible. That's horrible.
Oh my goodness! I think it's back-to-back 5. We're going to need to make some sort of improvement. Well, this shows you that we're really in the off season. We're going to need to ramp some things up in our run in the paint POELTL training camp here. But until then. Before we get to our top 10 point guards list, we have a couple of key NBA dates to talk about with huge games. Opening night and Christmas Day games were both reported by Shams. So let's talk about them. First with opening night, which is going to be Tuesday, October 21st, the first ever not the first ever, the first NBA games on NBC in a long while since the mid-2000s, early 2000s. And the 2 games that we got, both Western Conference games. First, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder receiving their championship rings to face off against former Thunder great Kevin Durant for his debut with the Houston Rockets. Joey, you're already loving this. What do you think about this matchup to open off the season?
Okay, that is pure cinema right there. That is going to be absolutely perfect. I know we're going to talk about all the other games, but at least the key ones, they've been nailing them. This is just the tip of the iceberg, y'all. This is perfect.
Yeah, Nick, this is honestly for me, if there was any matchup I wanted to see the Thunder get with getting their championship rings, it was the Rockets for all the storylines.
Yeah, the Rockets are probably going to lose because they haven't played a game with everybody on the court together. So, just from a analysis standpoint of what's going to happen on the court, anything could happen for the Rocket side of things. But yeah, we just had the conversation about Durant, whether or not he should have his jersey retired in Oklahoma City. We talked about how he gets booed every time he goes back there. So having that contrast with ring night is going to be, like Joey said, just absolute cinema.
Yeah, Ben, what was your reaction to this game in particular to kick off the season?
I felt the same way as you guys. I was like, whoa, this is great by the NBA. I love seeing that Kevin Durant, was just going to be going back to OKC to play the Thunder, to play the Thunder after winning their first ring, and they, did it after he left, and I just think it's gonna be just so fun. I think the crowds is just gonna be amazing too, just like it was during the playoffs to start the season.
Dude, for a regular season game, that might be the most intense crowd we get, with the Thunder getting their championship rings, and then they're for sure going to be booing Kevin Durant every time he touches the ball, especially. He's been going on a Twitter tirade with fans and talking about his time with the Thunder, which, typical Kevin Durant, and it's really, the most drama we can get at this point in the offseason, but it's going to set up a terrific opening night. Cannot wait for that first game. The second game, just simple and classic. The Warriors at the Lakers, LeBron versus Steph. Pretty simple. Joey, what are your thoughts?
Solid second game. They're NBC and the NBA clearly trying to go for some sort of records for viewers to bring them back.
Yeah,
right? Because these are who you want to see. One of LeBron and Curry's last times probably going to be able to go against each other on prime time on opening night. Right after that game, just back-to-back classics. I'd be looking forward to this on TNT, but I'm still looking forward to this no matter what.
Yeah, October 21st seems extremely early for them to start the year. Like they just keep moving it up further. I remember it used to be like when you bought 2K, it would be opening night was on Halloween, and that was like a cool experience getting to play the new 2K, and it would be on Halloween. Now it's October 21st. You don't hear any complaints from me because, like you guys said, NBC picked two great games. It's going to be like a pretty cool reunion for them to have both of those games on opening night with less and less opportunities for Curry and LeBron to match up. I think it's a great decision to have the Lakers, classic Warriors, like you said, Miles.
And of course, two teams, Ben, that made key additions midway through last season with Luka to the Lakers, Jimmy Butler to the Warriors. That'll both be in their first seasons with those guys, there and hoping to do some special things.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you get a first LeBron matchup, there's always great TV pretty much every time they face off. So, man, I'm so excited for opening night. I mean, these are like almost perfect matchups they pit. It's great.
Yeah, it has me even more excited. And you're right, Ben. Every time they match up, even like last season, it was Warriors Lakers at Christmas on Christmas, and I'm like, neither of the teams were anything special at that point, and who knows, maybe they aren't now. I don't think that they're really championship contenders at this point, but you still get incredible games. Like those two guys just always bring it when they go at it. And those two guys will once again be playing on Christmas Day this season. Let's talk about the Christmas Day games, the full day of basketball with 5 games from 12 o'clock noon all the way down, to midnight. Starting off, the only Eastern Conference teams playing on Christmas, the Cavs and the Knicks at Madison Square Garden. Joey, the Cavs get their first Christmas Day game in 7 seasons and their first one without LeBron since 1989. Pretty momentous occasion for us Cavs fans.
I'm extremely excited ever since I saw your TikTok at Miles Irvin on TikTok. Go follow him. That's where I got my news for this at. But
Thank you very much.
Shameless plug for you, buddy. But no, I'm so excited for it. Like you said in the video, this is literally the only Eastern teams that are gonna everyone's really looking forward to with the Tatum injury, the Hallie injury, these two teams are the clear favorites to start the season. So, and honestly, there are so many other good teams in the West. I am not mad about it that it's the only Eastern team, but Cavs finally returning at MSG. And how many times has MSG hosted a Christmas Day?
Every year.
Every year since it opened.
It feels like, I think when I looked it up, I think they played in 58 Christmas games and 56 of them have been at Madison Square Garden. So
it's the favorite part.
It's the Mecca. It's the Mecca. It's only right.
It's my favorite part of Christmas morning. Like the gifts are great, and having cinnamon rolls or whatever you eat on Christmas Day morning is great. But when the clock strikes noon, I'm watching whoever's playing at Madison Square Garden. And this year, it's gonna be our hometown Cavs. Makes it even sweeter. Like Joey said, just the top 2 teams in the East, and it's a pretty obvious matchup to put those two in Madison Square Garden on Christmas Day. It's gonna be epic. I love watching the 12 o'clock noon game before I head over to Joey's house for the rest of the day.
Yeah, Ben, you excited about this first game?
Of course I am. I'm always hyped and really excited when the Cavs get a matchup on Christmas Day. It feels so good to me. I mean, it's been since LeBron was on the team, and I just remember when I was younger and the Cavs played on Christmas Day, just how fun it was for me. I mean, it just made Christmas, amazing those years, and hopefully will this year too with the Cavs playing on Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely. But as I said, as Joey mentioned, only East teams playing on Christmas. So the rest of these games are all Western Conference matchups and all looking pretty good. The next game, the Spurs at the Thunder. So the Thunder are back on Christmas after winning the finals, going up against Wemby and the second overall pick, Dylan Harper. This should be a pretty fun game as well. I mean, two teams that haven't been on the Spurs were on Christmas last year. They were the team that played the Knicks at the Garden. But two teams basically returning to the Christmas stage is going to be a lot of fun.
100%. I'm very much looking forward to this as well. Wemby versus Chet, if both of them are healthy, is always a really fun matchup. Just because they're so similar. Just Wemby's on a completely different level, obviously. But the new guy, Dylan Harper versus Shea, seeing how, because we all have the expectations of the Thunder, but expectations are really starting to grow with the Spurs team. They're starting to get a lot more pieces. They're starting to get some. They're starting to build a team, and they're about to get into that new culture, brand new coach. Everything's going to start hitting it. They got a lot of growing possible playoff team. So this is going to be a real fun Christmas Day test.
Yeah,
I definitely agree.
Yeah.
Couldn't have said it better. It's going to be a huge test for them with the stage as bright as it gets on Christmas Day. I'm very excited to see Victor Wembanyama on that stage again because last year at Madison Square Garden, he put up 42, 18, 4, and 4. So having him go against the defending champs, Chet versus Wemby, should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, no question about it. Ben, the third game, we have the Rockets at the Lakers. So the Rockets, another team that has not been on Christmas in a while. But we're going to get Kevin Durant versus LeBron on Christmas in LA. What are your thoughts on that matchup?
Oh, I can't wait for that too. Just like LeBron versus Curry, Durant versus LeBron. Man, that's always a cinema matchup too. I mean, whew, those guys are getting older. I don't know, how much longer we'll get to see them playing high level basketball going forward. But man, it'll be just so fun to see them go at it at some high level basketball for just another time again on Christmas. I mean, it's just gonna be a treat, and both of those teams, kind of, I think will be playing with some different play styles, I guess, this year, and I'm interested in seeing how that will all unfold in that game as well.
Yeah, definitely going to be a lot of fun. The fourth game, mentioned Steph Curry and the Warriors back on Christmas, going up against the Dallas Mavericks, who are back on Christmas. Definitely a different-looking Mavericks team with Anthony Davis and Cooper Flagg going to be their top two players heading into that game. Nick, what are your thoughts on this matchup?
Coop is going to make his Christmas debut, and I'm excited to see what he does, and probably will be like the biggest game up to his point in his career, coming on December 25th. So yeah, that's what I'll be watching for. Is Coop? You said they're playing who? The Warriors?
Yeah, the Warriors.
Yeah, in Golden State, I would imagine. Should be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Joey, the final game of the night. The Timberwolves at the Nuggets, a rivalry over the last couple seasons, and then they meet on Christmas at Denver. This is going to be fun.
All the Christmas Day games are great, but outside of maybe the Cavs one, this is probably the one I'm most looking forward to, just because Jokic has been one of the best players, if not the best player in the league for the last 3 or 4 seasons. And for the last 2 seasons, he has not been able to get past one man, and that man is Ant Edwards and the Timberwolves. And that unfit to finish Christmas Day, oh, beautiful. Perfect end to a perfect day.
Yeah, I have a question for you guys now that we've gone through all 5 of the games, and of course the Wolves-Nuggets game, definitely a rivalry there over the last really 3 seasons. Which matchup do you guys think is the marquee matchup of the day, the one that Mike Breen will be on the call for? He's always on the biggest game. Which game do you guys think that he'll be on for this year?
New York. The noon.
Yeah, Breen will be in New York, yeah.
That's his home one.
But the marquee matchup, I do think it's that late one between Denver and Minnesota. I think that just is going to be a really close game. It always is when those two teams are matched up against each other. They're pretty evenly matched, and they know each other inside and out. Both are going to be looking a little bit different this year, with some more positivity leaning towards Denver's sort of organization in the offseason. But Minnesota has been the one who's been in the conference finals each of the last 2 years and has that chip on their shoulder, has that experience because they haven't gotten over that hump. So I think both those teams are just super hungry and both going to be trying to form their new identity early in the season. And that's going to be a huge way to do that is winning on Christmas Day.
Yeah, Ben, what do you think is the marquee matchup of Christmas Day?
I think it's tough, but I'm gonna have to agree with you guys. I gotta go Timberwolves versus Nuggets. It's always, just so fun seeing those teams go at it based on, the matchups we've seen from them in the past, close matchups in the past, as you guys said, and it should hopefully be a close and great matchup on Christmas as long as, the teams are healthy and stuff. But Ant versus Jokic and Jokic going up against the Timberwolves bigs. Oh boy, yeah, that's gonna be so fun.
I do
But
want
Yeah,
to throw.
I can't wait for all the games. I think they're all great matchups, and I thought the NBA did a really good job with picking out the Christmas games this year.
Yeah, Nick, what were you going to say?
I was gonna ask if you guys thought, Shea's the MVP, reigning MVP, and one of the most dynamic players we have in the league. But when Wemby and Chet match up, like, do you guys think it's possible that like he takes a back seat and that becomes the headline? Like,
I don't think so, just because he's probably going to want to teach a lesson to Dylan Harper and be like it to a welcome to the league moment. I feel like he would really love to do that and just take it to the Rook and be like, welcome to the big leagues. This is what it means to play on Christmas Day.
I guess does the Wemby matchup make Chet more of an X factor for the Thunder than Shea?
Well, this is my thing. So I think that in their rookie seasons together, just 2 years ago, that was a headline thing. But with Chet had a major injury last season, and he kind of had a step back in his development. So I think Holmgren is going to have a big time jump this season and be, definitely better than he was. And I think that at that point, he's going to get off to a great start to the season, and that could be the headline where it's Chet versus Wemby, Shea versus Dylan Harper, or De'Aaron Fox still exists. Like people forget about how good De'Aaron Fox is, and that might be something we talk about on this list potentially. But there are a lot of great matchups across the board with that game as well. I agree with Ben. I think that honestly, all 5 of these were great hits. I mean, the Dallas Golden State one is maybe I'm a little iffy on, but Curry on Christmas, can't argue with that one at all. And you get Cooper Flag on Christmas.
Get Klay Thompson back to Golden State
Yeah,
in that
Klay.
game. That'll be a lot of fun.
It's really the only biggest shame. That's the only disappointment for me in that game is Kyrie can't be there to destroy them on Christmas again.
Yeah, it's true.
Former Warrior legend D'Angelo Russell, who will be starting for the Mavs at that time. Yeah, so I think, marquee matchup, I'll go with the Wolves-Nuggets one. I think Cavs and Knicks will be fun too because those theoretically will be the top 2 seeds in the East by the time that game comes around. But I actually think that Mike Breen, if we're going by that, I think he's actually going to get this Rockets-Lakers game because although he is the Knicks broadcaster, he rarely gets the Knicks Christmas game because Mike Breen calls the LeBron games, the Curry games on Christmas, and the Knicks just haven't had the opportunity. But this is potentially their biggest Christmas Day matchup against the Cavs, in a long, long time. So definitely could be possible. But either way, love all these games. If I had to give it a rating, I'd give it all the games a 9 out of 10. The NBA did a fantastic job with all 5 of the games on Christmas and the 2 opening night matchups. So can't wait.
100%.
Breeny could, if ESPN wants to really take care of him, fly him from New York after the first game all the way out to Denver. On both.
2 games in one day. Oh my gosh! Merry Christmas! Get to work twice in the same day. Oh yes, sir. But
Merry Christmas with that direct deposit.
True. All right, now let's get into our top 10 point guards list. So this is going to be a lot of fun. So over the next few episodes, we're going to go through our top 10 player rankings for each position. Now, we debated on whether or not to include players that were injured at the end of last season going into this year. And we decided to, just because there are so many injured players that it would, injured great players that would be on this list. It would make it a little more difficult to rank, and it'll be fun to debate on here as well. Let's see, Nick, let's start with you. What did you focus on with this list? Like, how did you formulate your list to get to your top 10?
Current skill level, current impactfulness, how good of a player you are right now. That was what I used to base my rankings.
Simple. All right, Ben, how about you? What kind of equation did you use to form your list?
So I went with, part of it was how good they are right now, like what Nick said. Also, just kind of based off of last year, especially with us including injured, guys that are injured, now. And just, kind of availability, basically.
Yeah, a whole lot of different things. Joey, how about you? How'd you come up with your list here?
Kind of the same, just kind of current, based off of a little bit of last year. Probably a lot of my predictions for next year, just of going into next year, of maybe what I think.
Joey's list is going to be crazy.
It's probably going to be the absolute craziest. I purely went on gut feeling and what I think is going to happen. You're going to love it.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. For my list, I definitely how good you are now, how well you played last season, durability, to some extent. And really the two big things that I focused on with my list, and all the lists across the board, were your impact on helping your team win games in the regular season and the playoffs, and who I would rather have on my team at this point. If we were doing a fantasy draft, but not even looking long term, just a one season fantasy draft, this is the order of the point guards that I would have on my big board. So
that's kind of how I view everything. We'll look at it like a fantasy draft. If I can do this, I'm taking him over him.
Yeah. So let's get right into it. Let's see, Nick, why don't you get us started with your number 10 point guard?
I would love to, Miles. Thank you very much. At number 10, I have Dame. Damian Lillard is my number 10 guy. He made the cut over a few other guys I'll mention. Darius Garland was probably right on the cusp here. LaMelo and Ja were both left off my list as well. The reason I picked Dame is because I do think he's a more electric, dynamic player. I just think he's a better, more impactful player with the ball in his hands, and I'd rather have him than any of those other three guys on my team, including the Cavs. But the reason I don't have him higher, even though he's, had a Hall of Fame career and he's still an all-star level player, was last year, was that he didn't impact winning a whole lot. His team was 32-26 when he was on the floor. They were 16-8 without him. When he was out there for the playoffs, he was not impactful. He had the deep vein thrombosis or the blood clot. I can't remember which injury he had, but then 3 games into the playoffs, he tears his Achilles. But even in those 3 games, he just wasn't the Dame that from years past. So he slipped down the order quite considerably from where I would have had him going into last year, but he's still top 10.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that. I mean, I have Dame one spot higher at number 9, but for similar reasons. I mean, in the regular season, his stats still looked really good. I mean, he averaged 25, 5, and 7, was an all-star. He still statistically was really good. But like you said, his impact on winning, the Bucks got off to such a bad start this past season. Of course, they were playing some really, good teams during that stretch, but we never really saw the Bucks as a legit championship contender throughout the season. I was the most optimistic about them probably the whole way through, but even that was because Giannis is Giannis and he's an incredible player. And I felt like, if just the other guys could step up and he could carry, his team, through a couple of series if necessary. But it was just
Kuzma never made the jump.
Yeah, the Middleton for Kuzma trade was a disaster. Dame, it was just the playoffs. I don't really hold the playoffs too much against him because he did have the blood clot. He came back from it in record time to then come back in a playoff scenario against a tough Pacers team to then get injured again. So it was just a tough situation, and he is going to be out for all this season. Going back to Portland is a great story, but I have him at my number 9. Number 10 is where I have another injured guy, Kyrie Irving. Now, he probably won't miss the whole season, but just because Dame, basically the main reason I have Dame over Kyrie is because he did play more games. But besides that, Kyrie had a fantastic season last year.
Ben, what do you think? What do you have at 10?
I have LaMelo Ball at 10. I put him at 10 because, I know he has been the most reliable recently. Last year he played some more games than the season before. It was like 47 games. But, when he is on the floor, boy, he is really talented. It was hard not to include him on this list just because of when he's available, he's really talented. He can score the ball really well. When he played last year, he averaged 25.2 points. He can dish out assists. He averaged 7.4 assists. I don't think he really turns it over a ton, but the Hornets are a decent team and picks are winning a bit more, of course, when he's playing. When he's out there playing, he's their best player, So, yeah, I got LaMelo.
Joey, how about you? Who do you have at 10?
I agree with Ben. I also have LaMelo at 10.
Nice.
And pretty much for the same reason. When he's out there, he goes toe to toe with any other point guard on our list. Like, he is that good when he plays. It's just unfortunate that he doesn't play all the time and that they're not a better team. And it's not a good look all the time. But so he's not going to anytime soon until that changes and the Charlotte Hornets are no longer a dumpster fire. Maybe he'll go up the list, but until I see them winning, 10 is probably the highest I will ever put him.
Yeah, Nick, did you have him on your list? You said no, right?
No.
Yeah, I think it's a thing where just the things we talk about, how we formulated the list, there are a lot of things that don't apply to him, like durability. Doesn't like the fact that 47 games played this season. It was a major improvement over the last 3 years is just not good. And the fact that when he is on the floor, he doesn't impact winning a whole lot. And I don't think that he's a very good leader either. Personally, I do not want him leading my franchise going forward on my team. But he's a very talented player. Just not sure if he's a winning player, at this point.
I will say, because I did have Dame off my list. You guys both mentioned you had Dame at 10 and 9. I did not have him on it. Mostly just because but even though he played great, it was just disappointment that team, it just didn't work out. Obviously, one of the biggest buyouts in history, and it's going to be a great story now that he's back. But he's not playing this year. He's out for this year, so he's going to come back next year. Maybe next year I'll have him on my list, depending on his progress on it. But especially at his age now, it's incredibly tough to come back at a point guard position with that injury, let alone any other position. Look at Klay Thompson and how hard he's had to come back just to be this good again. Because I remember the Warriors at the end, it wasn't that great. And they kind of wanted him out. So it's an incredibly hard injury to come back from. So who even knows if he's going to come back the same. But he did barely miss my list. Like, he is still that good. Like, I will recognize how incredible him personally and his stats were as a Buck.
Yeah, definitely fair. I should say with the point guard list, the point guard position is very deep, man. Like, when forming this list, I mentioned you guys in the pre-pod lobby, I had 17 players in my pool to make this list. So there are a lot of good guys that didn't make the list. But so, if a player doesn't make our list, doesn't mean that we don't think that you're really, really good. There are just, some players that had better seasons or are better at this point. Nick, who did you have at number 9?
With number 9, I went with a guy who made his first All-Star team last year. This is a guy who just keeps improving and getting better and better, and is honestly like has gotten to the point where I think he's better than I ever really anticipated, and that's Tyler Hero. I got Tyler Hero at number 9 from Miami.
Wow, definitely had a very good season. I, spoiler, did not have him on my list, but he's definitely one of the guys that was in the pool to make it. First-time All-Star. Very good season. And Nick, you're right. This turned out to be way better than I ever could have thought. I thought that his peak was a sharpshooter off the bench, but he's become, an all-star level point guard, for a solid Miami Heat team.
I'm guessing nobody else had him on their list.
I did not have them on my
Yep,
list.
Well, listen, dude. I mean, I'll talk a little bit more about him. Like I said, like he's become a different player than he was when he came to the league. He's really changed his game to fit Miami's needs, and he shoots it at nearly 40% on like 9 attempts a game from deep. He's one of the best high volume shooters in the league. So when you do all that, I think you make my top 10 list. Over guys like Garland and LaMelo and Trae Young, I would pick Hero.
Yeah, I mean, I think there could be an argument. I guess the impact on winning specifically this season to me just wasn't really there a whole lot. And I know that the Jimmy Butler thing was over Miami a whole lot, and that impacted a lot of things. But even like in the playoffs, in their first round against the Cavs and Darius Garland, I didn't expect the Heat to lose the series by a combined 120-something points. Like, that is unacceptable. And Hero in the playoffs was garbage.
Well, he don't play defense.
That's right. That's right. But, so that's why I didn't, have him on my list. I also didn't have Darius Garland on my list, but he was very close. But
I guess I'm a little bit of a homer then.
Miles, who'd you have at 9?
Or 9 is where I had Dame. Ben, who'd you have at 9? Yep.
At 9, I had Trae Young there. I have him because he, played great again last year. The Hawks, didn't have the best of years, of course, last year, but going into this next season, they're hopefully going to be pretty good, definitely competing more in the East. And Young, I mean, he definitely didn't have his best scoring season last year, but he scored the ball good. But, what did impress me, of course, was he was still dishing out a lot of assists. He really did great of getting his teammates involved. And I think he's a good leader, better leader than LaMelo, part of why I have him over LaMelo. And I just, think he's the 9th best just point guard skill-wise right now.
Yeah, hard to disagree. Joey, who do you have at 9?
Well, before I get to that, I will actually say I actually have Trae Young at 8 just because
I do as well. I do as well.
You as well? Wow, look at
Wow,
that.
I'm never the one to leave Trae off a list.
I was going to say, you've always been giving him credit. I'm surprised you left him off the list.
Yeah,
but he's incredible. He's especially – it was disappointing with the DeJounte Murray, but the Hawks have real promise next year with hopefully Jalen Johnson coming back healthy, Zachary Risache, if Trae Young dishing it to those guys. Like, I expect the Hawks, especially in a weak Eastern Conference, especially this year, I expect them, and like I said, I do a little predicting. I'm trying to at least. I do expect the Hawks to be at least a lot better next year.
Yeah. Trae is still, a very good player. And when they made the move for Porzingis and their free agent moves, I remember I said on this podcast, lock it in that they're a top 4 seed. And that could be possible. Definitely could be possible. Yeah. Did you mention your number 9?
No, my number 9 is my homer pick, Garland. It is a lot of prediction just because he is still a fantastic point guard. He still plays, regardless of how we feel as fans about the 2 bigs and the 2 guards, ball dominant guards. Like, Garland and Mitchell have both been very, very productive, especially last season, playing almost a full season together. Oh, just a couple injuries here and there. But they played really well off of each other, and they can do it and have a lot of success. And going into next year, when hopefully he's fully healthy, because obviously the playoffs left a really bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, but that was a lot due to his injury. So, like going into this past season, after the injury, he played really well this whole regular season. After the injury in the playoffs, maybe going into next year healthy, he'll be really, really good again.
Yeah, Ben, did you have Garland on your list at all?
Nope, I didn't.
Just curious.
Yeah,
Okay.
he wasn't
So,
really close.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, Garland, I had him. He was on my borderline for sure because, I mean, if anything, obviously his stats don't look. I mean, they look really good. I mean, 20.7 assists per game, but compared to these other guys, it's nothing too special. But the fact that he did it as a second option and on the best team in the East, and you talk about impact on winning. I mean, when you think about it, the Pacers Cavs series was obviously, a huge disappointment. He was also injured to start the series, which made things very difficult. And of course, the toe injury, which, he may miss the start of the season, just still recovering from it and all that. But impact on winning, I mean, I think you can make the case that if Garland is healthy the whole series, then we're not talking about the Cavs as a team that needs to prove themselves heading into the season. Things could have been a lot different. So for impact on the best team in the East and an elite offensive team with him as the point guard, definitely on the borderline, but it just shows how many good point guards are in the league that he doesn't make the list, in my opinion.
That's why, you mentioned it a lot. He is the second option and still averaging 20 points and 7 assists. Because obviously, probably the next video when we talk about shooting guards and Donnie Mitchell, we're going to look at his stats and be like, "Wow, I can't believe like the Cavs had this great of a duo. I can't even I didn't remember the stats being that good." But a lot of these other point guards, they're all first options. They're all the ball dominant guard. It's a lot harder with two ball dominant guards, especially on the caliber the Cavs have.
Yeah, absolutely. But number 8, so Joey and I both have Trae Young. Nick, who do you have at number 8?
Tyrese Maxey.
Ooh, Tyrese Maxey, your boy. All right, talk to us about Tyrese Maxey.
My boy from last year, who I had ranked super high in the beginning of the season. Yeah. Definitely a difficult spot for Maxey last year in Philly, but he had a great year. He averaged 26, 6, and 3. There was a stretch of games in the middle of the year where he went off for 6 straight 30-point games, and when you do that at 24, it raises a lot of eyebrows. So I think Maxey's poised for another big year, regardless of what else goes around him in Philly. So yeah, I think that he's number 8 for me.
Ben, who's your number 8?
I have Ja Morant there. This one, I mean, we're just kind of where I think he is now going into the next year. He didn't have the greatest of seasons last year, but still was pretty good. Played most games last year. And, I mean, when Ja Morant's really feeling it, he's really getting it going. I mean, he could be, pretty hard to stop. He still is, really tough to stop at times around the rim. He can make some fancy plays there for baskets still that are just so talented, and I just believe, now he's getting even better as a player, for next year. I believe he's just super talented and definitely top 10 worthy still based on the talent.
Yeah, definitely true there. My number 7. Now we've gone through all of our 8s. My number
Real quick,
7.
I guess the reason I would just say real quick is I have Ja and Garland and LaMelo off is sometimes their lows are definitely, I would argue, lower than Dame, Hero, Maxey. When they disappear, I think they disappear more often than.
Definitely. I mean, yeah. I mean, there are definitely some times where that happens. I mean, I didn't have John Morant on my list. I also didn't have Tyrese Maxey on my list. Actually, I both. Joel, you did too. Okay, so I'm not
I
crazy.
didn't either.
I was worried you guys would all roast me for
Tyrese Maxey was number 11, though, I will say. Like, he was, like,
Garland was
right
11
there.
for me. Garland was 11 for me. Yeah.
Dude, how it went for me, Garland was 11, Maxey was 12, Ja was 13. So those were all the complete borderline guys. My number 7 was Tyrese Halliburton, coming off of an incredible playoffs, the most clutch playoff run of all time. I mean, it was one of the most fun times I've had as a fan watching those plays that he was making for that Pacers team. And like even stats don't even tell the full story. I mean, with just 18 points per game, because he's getting all of his guys involved, 9 assists per game. He's really efficient. And it just stinks that he had the injury in Game 7. He's not going to miss all of next year. But just the ability to just turn up whenever your team needs to, no matter what, throughout a playoff run. That was just absolutely incredible. So I think he deserves this number 7 spot.
Yeah.
Oh, lost Nick for a
Yeah.
second. There he
I
is.
was
There's
gonna
Nick.
yes and you. I was gonna agree. Just a quick word on Hallie. I have written down next to his name. I only have him one spot higher at number 6.
I do as well.
So Kyrie is my number 7, but just a first.
Kyrie is also my number 7.
All right.
Ooh,
So
wow.
for Hallie, I have like next to it. I wrote down he's changing the way the game is played. Like you said, I mean the Pacers as a whole kind of are doing that along with the Thunder, but Hallie is like the engine of that team, and he's the one, like you said, Miles, getting everybody involved. So I think he's in my top 6 just for that reason alone. And other than that, like he was a leader of the team who was one win away from being the champs. For Kyrie, I think I still have him above guys like Maxey, Hero, Dame, Garland, whoever, because he's still one of the most clutch players in the league. And he averages 25 and 5, 25, 5 and 5 like it's nothing on very efficient shooting. He's like you can bet on that. So yeah.
No, 100%. Kyrie is like, that's exactly what I'm saying. He's still one of like, obviously he's outside of the top 5, but when you're talking pure talent and like skill wise, he's top 5 still.
Yeah.
Like it's like you said, durability, stuff like that, like things that come into play that put him outside. But with this team, if he comes back healthy at some point in time for the playoffs, if Dallas isn't within striking distance, they're going to be a very, very scary team. And he could really just complete that team when he comes back. But agree with Halliburton with everything you said, just because I have him one spot higher. Like we were very critical of like him scoring, and like when he disappears, they don't win. But like that's how crazy his impact on winning is. That when he does just score even 15 to 20, changes the entire game. Because you already know he's getting like 10 plus assists. He's getting everybody involved. He's hustling, like he's diving on. He's doing everything he can. So and obviously the clutchness from that entire playoff run, you got to be right there. But with the injury, I had to leave him off top 5. It sucks, but it does because he really could have been top 5.
Yeah. And I mean, Halliburton is still someone that I think still has some room to grow as a player. Like we talked about it the whole playoff run. When the Pacers lost some games, like you could make a case the Pacers lost that finals because Halliburton had games where he wasn't aggressive. Like he needs to be more aggressive with the ball. He's a great shooter. He's a great finisher with his floating shot. He still has some room to grow as a player. But before we move on to Ben 7, question for you guys. I know it's impossible to predict this stuff, but who do you guys think has a better chance of returning back closer to their previous form from prior to their injuries? Damian Lillard or Kyrie Irving?
Oh, that's tough.
Probably Kyrie.
Why do you think?
Just because I like Kyrie more. I don't know. I really don't have a good reason other than like gut feeling maybe. Like I truly love Dame Lillard and like the whole heartwarming story, but like I have a really bad feeling that he's going to be kind of a shell of himself and like it's kind of almost retirement time.
He said Kyrie or Hallie.
Or no, I said Kyrie or Dame.
Oh, my bad.
Kyrie.
Oh, definitely Kyrie then.
Yeah.
I thought it was if it was Kyrie
would-
Hallie. I mean, like what I was gonna say is their speed is both such a crucial part to Kyrie and Hallie's games that it's hard to see like either of them losing a step and still being as great as they were. Um, but I think Kyrie is has a more sustainable like game to come back from than Dame.
Okay, Ben, what do you think about this? Do you think has a better chance of coming back closer to their all-star self?
I think, like what you guys said, Kyrie Irving, because uh, I just think he'll still have the really good skills with his dribbling still left, and I just believe he could be a good scorer. And kind of like what Joey said, I just worried like with Dame kind of become a shell of himself, and Dame could possibly look good, but just like not what he used to be, and he's just getting old, I think. But I mean, Kyrie's getting old too. I'm sure it's not easy on him, but I just believe he'll just look better still. It's just kind of how I'm feeling, and he's on the better basketball team too, which will help.
Yeah, I wish I would disagree. Well, I could disagree, but I'll go Kyrie Irving. Although I do, something that does kind of worry me about Kyrie coming back with this injury is a lot of his maneuvers with his ball handling and driving to the basket. A lot of that is change of speed and change of quickness, which you need strength in that knee to do and to go up and finish those acrobatic layups. So I'm wondering if there might be some just some time where he's going to have to get used to playing like that. And that's why I'm not sure if the Dallas Mavericks will be a title contender this season, because we have no idea how Kyrie will be able to adjust to this when he comes back. But Lillard definitely concerns me more because you talk about strength in your calf. You need some strength to shoot from 30 feet out and shoot those logo threes. That worries me a little bit. But back to the list. Ben, who's your number 7?
My number 7 is James Harden. Last year, he was just, looking even more improved. Just somehow, I wasn't totally sure, neither like you guys. James Harden really get better. Kind of looked like the same he was in the 76ers. But I mean, the start last year, without Kawhi, it's just awesome. I mean, his leadership was actually pretty good. That really impressed me. What helps with his ranking on here is that he's become a better leader on the Clippers. I'd say he's a good leader with them now, and his scoring was just really good. And there were times last year, even when Kawhi got back, where James Harden was sort of reminded me like the James Harden of the Rockets in the few games. He was just kind of unstoppable a bit and was scoring it really well. So, James Harden impressed me last year, and I definitely think he deserved to get where he was.
Yeah, I had Halliburton and Harden switched on my list. Halliburton 7, Harden at 6, because I completely agree. I think that Harden has become one of the top leaders in the game. I mean, what he was able to do to maximize that Clippers team last season was one of the more impressive things from last season. Now, of course, in the playoffs, we ended up getting typical James Harden, where the Clippers had a no-show in Game 7 against Denver. But for the regular season and getting the Clippers to that point where none of us had them, maybe one of us had them making the playoffs or the play-in, but to get them to tied for the 3rd seed in the West and taking the Nuggets to 7 with Kawhi out for half the season and getting guys like Norman Powell and Zubats to play at like elite role player status levels. That's why I got Harden at my 6.
I'm kind of shocked that you guys had Harden on your list at all. Like
Really?
I thought he was really
Wow.
good, but like
Actually,
he wasn't even in like my top 15. Like he was like I understand
whoa,
the leadership aspect and everything. But I don't know.
I do think he probably deserves more consideration than I gave him initially. I disagree with Joey. I agree more with Miles and Ben that he probably should have made. I mean, he was 10th in MVP voting just last year, averaged 23, 9, and 6, which is pretty incredible. The one thing I don't know. This is just me pulling at hairs. Like he shot 41%, and that's not great. But he definitely deserves more consideration than I gave him, and he's probably a top 10 point guard right now.
He shot his worst percentage from the field and 3-point percentage for the last 3 years. The first time he's averaged over 4 turnovers per game since Brooklyn.
Well,
and obviously he had more responsibility because of the Kawhi injury and all that, and the more usage and stuff. But I don't know. I just don't see it.
To defend,
I think he showed flashes, but not consistent enough, in my opinion, or great consistent enough.
To defend James Harden on this, I mean, he was asked to actually score the ball for the first time since Houston. And we're talking about a 35-year-old point guard here that had to shoot 16 shots per game and handle the ball, where he's like, for no disrespect to the other role players on the team because they were great, but who else do you really trust to dribble the ball on that Clippers team last year when Kawhi is injured? I mean, he averaged 4 turnovers per game. And just with how everything, I mean, we all thought after them losing Paul George last season that the Clippers, it was going to be a down year. Just the way, I mean, I don't even think numbers tell the full story with him, because the way he was able to empower, particularly Powell and Zubats, and just, I don't think that the Clippers could have gotten more out of that team than they got last season. And the number one reason was James Harden playing at an all NBA level. I mean, he's, by the voting, was a top 15 player in the league.
That's fair.
But either way, moving on. What is our next one? What number are we on now?
Ben hasn't revealed his number 6.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I do. Mine is Kate Cunningham.
Okay, good.
Last year, man, I was just really impressed with how he just improved even more, and what helped him was other guys around them got better. Kind of, I guess, took off some pressure for him, but he still turned into a star last year. He averaged 26.1 points per game. That was pretty impressive. I guess, before last year, I wasn't totally expecting him to score that much, but he did. So, I mean, the scoring definitely improved. He had a nice amount of assists, too. He averaged 9 assists, is what I saw. That's pretty impressive. He did a great job of getting his teammates involved, too, and it was just really impressive, how he helped lead the Pistons, who, were just historically bad the previous year before last year, to then, just playing like a star and just getting them all the way to the playoffs somehow. He helped turn that around. Man, it's just so impressive with that. It was unbelievable just how he and the Pistons pulled that off.
Yeah, for sure. Nick, who did you have at your 6?
Hallie.
Oh, okay. All right, Halliburton at 6. Joey, who did you have at 6?
Halliburton. We already went. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so my number 5 was Cade Cunningham as well.
Quick word on Cade.
Yeah.
Joey, did you have my 5?
I did.
Okay, I have him at number 4. I think, speaking of guys that don't have anybody else to dribble the ball and have a ton of responsibility, like, what he is doing is super underrated, which is why I had him at 4. One above Curry. I had Curry 5th. Cade 4th.
I had Curry at 4.
That was penciled in for me for a while, but right before we started recording, I switched them. I switched
that was
them.
like almost my first decision. Like I said, our top 3 guys I think are all going to be the same.
Yeah.
And then my next decision was like, all right, Cade ahead of Curry, because I really do think what he's doing is underrated, and he's just gonna have an incredible year. I think probably this year,
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, the same argument, the thing you were saying about Harden. I was like, man, Cade literally took the Pistons to the playoffs after the last 3 to 5 years, like, of just almost unwatchable basketball.
No, all it took was a defensive coach and some veteran shooters, and you got yourself a superstar point guard and a playoff appearance.
It's incredible. Like, yeah.
After his sidekick went down, shout out Jay Ivey and the injured reserves.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, dude, who, like, last season or even now, like, who is considered the Pistons' second best player right now? Like,
or
I guess Duran, maybe Thompson. Like, I don't even know. Like, it's Ivy, maybe Tobias Harris. Like, it's so many different guys.
The other thing is, like, we're doing these predictions. Like, we're gonna be at least thinking about them as a top 4 seed. I know I am.
Yep.
Yeah, that definitely could be possible. But yeah, Cade, unbelievable. 26, 6, and 9. Crazy good season at 23 years old. He was 7th in MVP. I didn't even realize that. The voting. I mean, he had a spectacular season. But I did have Curry ahead of him. Just to give him some respect, Curry is still someone that's incredible. And, you know, I think he might be the best epitome, like, just at this point of his career, where the stats don't tell the full story with 24 points, 6 assists, but just because of the gravity that he has, because he is the greatest shooter of all time. But
it does almost feel weird to leave him off the top 3, but like you kind of have to. But like, he is still Curry. I am very interested to hear Ben's 5 though.
My 5 is actually Halliburton. He was, you know, kind of tough to the beat, kind of tough to rank, but I was different somehow with you guys. I somehow had him over Cade, and part of that was just because, you know, of how impressive, you know, the Pacers' run was in the playoffs, and him just nailing, you know, those huge game-winning shots, and yeah, I know he had some stinkers, but just, you know, it was just so impressive how he led the Pacers through that, and seeing, you know, playoff run and then into the finals, and, you know, I'd say overall, you know, he did do pretty well in the playoffs, of course. You know, when he comes back, you know, try to improve his consistency even more. That could maybe, you know, make him even higher on a point guard list in the future if he could do that after injury, maybe. But yeah, great year from Halliburton. He's great at, you know, just getting his teammates involved too. It's another part of it.
No, I will 100% defend you, because as much as great as we were just talking about Cade, the only reason I had Tyrese Halliburton at 6 and not 5 was because he got injured and we're not going to see him at all next year. Like, that's literally the only reason I'm keeping him off. I just didn't feel it, especially if me thinking of like trying to predict on how these guys are going to go next year. Can't really put an injured guy top 5 who I'm not going to see at all next year. But I expect he is younger.
Curry's injured. Curry is injured.
But Curry, wait, what?
Steph is literally injured, and he's in your top 5.
How long is he out for?
No.
I was like,
didn't he hurt his hamstring to end the year, and they got eliminated by the Wolves? Or am I misremembering?
Well, he did, but he'll be back. Like, he's going to go.
He's not out for all of next year, though, is he?
Okay. That's been corrected.
That's like the only thing. Yeah, no, 100. But the thing is, like, I agree with Ben as well with Halliburton. Like, in the future years, he could definitely be top 5 for me, and probably even higher, because with how young he is, like we were talking to the other guys with the Achilles injury, Halliburton's got a little bit more youth on his side. He can come back at least a little better from this.
Yeah, and even like injury aside, I still think Cade is better than Halliburton, because, I mean, although Halliburton did go deeper, I think Cade at this point of his career, I wouldn't say has mastered this skill, but he's gotten very good at balancing scoring versus passing and getting his teammates better. I feel like he's done a really good job with that. And Halliburton still has that, to improve his game. So for that, I still think Cade is a better player, but both are still really good. Bottom line is, even if Halliburton's the 5th best point guard or 7th, like I had him, or 6th, like the other guys, he's not overrated, guys. He's not overrated. We all know how good that guy is. So yeah, I had Curry at 4. You guys had Cade at 4, and then Ben, would you have Curry at 4 as well?
4, just like you, Miles.
I also had Curry at 4. I had Cade at 5.
Oh, okay. Sweet. So yes, Nick, like you said, we should all have the same top 3 point guards right here. So number 3. I'll start.
I've got right?
I did mention him before. 3 is where I had Jalen Brunson.
Agreed.
Yep, same. I agree.
Wow. Okay. I was wondering if anyone would try to make a case that he was 2, but no. Brunson.
Come on.
I got a better case for him at 4 than I do for 2.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. But no, Brunson's just awesome. He's an awesome player. I mean, he's still one of my favorite guys to watch, and led the Knicks to the Eastern Conference Finals this year. And
Brunson he always steps up for sure. Like, loves the moment, but he's one of a kind in the sense that, like, 2nd round pick. Like, talk about a guy who you didn't expect to be here, and now he's a top 3 point guard in the league. But he's just like, there's nobody else in the league who's like him. There's nobody else. He's created his own style of play. Talk about another guy who's changing the way the game is being played. Like, Jalen Brunson is the epitome of that.
He reminds me a lot of almost kind of like a traditionalist point guard, at least what I grew up with. Like, a lot of guys are expanding their range, and Jalen Brunson can still hit the long ball, but he's a lot.
He lives in the mid-range.
He lives in the paint. He lives in the mid-range. He loves posting up guys. Like, he is a big – he's like almost like has Halliburton size, but he doesn't.
You know what he is, bro? He's old school meets new school.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, no, he's still the top 3 point guard, especially with how loaded the point guard position is. He is that effective in leading his team, producing the stats, being a leader, just all around everything you want in a point guard.
Yep, clutch player of the year. And is, just an incredible – I mean, a superstar player and a great leader. I mean, Nick, you said it. I don't know if anyone could write this, for where he started as a 2nd round pick. At number 2, I've got his former teammate Luka Doncic at number 2.
Same.
I got Luka 1.
Yeah.
Nick.
Luka 1.
Nick.
What?
I think Luka's better.
What?
I don't have any argument other than the fact that I think Luka's better than Shaq.
Other than MVP, Finals MVP.
Dude, okay, by that rank, you should have 9-time All-Star Dame Lillard as number 1. Like, if you want to go off awards and also, like,
you have to combine. It's not mutually exclusive like that.
And okay, got all those awards in last season.
I don't care. I'm talking about right now.
This is as now as we can get is last season.
You just said last season. I'm talking. I think Luka was. I think Luka's better.
Okay.
I think that he could be better, but he still has to prove it. This is the same.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, hear me out. Dallas Mavericks finals run. Luka replace SGA last year with him. Do they win in less than 7 games? I think they win in 5 or 6.
Wait, what? Wait, so what are you at? If the Thunder last year had 2024,
yeah, Luka? I mean, okay, if Luka was on, if the Thunder last year had 2024 Luka or whatever, then he's still the MVP. He's still the Finals MVP, and they probably win the Finals in less games. Is my argument.
That's a hypothetical thing that could have happened, but we're not ranking 2024 Luka. We're ranking 2025 Luka, and 2025 Luka is coming off of a pretty disappointing season, whether it was when he was wearing a Mavericks uniform or a Lakers uniform, and that's just what it is.
He may have disappointed, like, as a whole, but, like, if you just take a snapshot of him in any given game out of context and compare it with, like, a play from I'm picking Luka.
I mean, I personally disagree. I disagree because Shea, I mean, He's coming off MVP, Finals MVP scoring leader, leading one of the best teams that we have ever seen. Really,
And my thing is, like, Luka would have done all that if he was on the Thunder too.
I personally don't think so, because the things that we've talked about with the things that Nico Harrison has talked about with the reasons why he traded Luka, those things do still apply. Now, was it the right decision to trade him and the way that they did it? I don't think so. But like the things that we talked about with Luka in the finals last season about him not giving effort defensively, being out of shape, those things still all apply. And
you guys, I mean, you guys know how I feel about Luka. I've been on this pod. Like, I ranked him super low at the top 20 players, top 25 players to start the year. Like, I don't even know if I had him on the list. Like, and I backed Nico and understood the trade perspective. Like, you don't want to put $200 million in a guy that you're not sure is going to be maintaining the right weight to be a physical, like, capable NBA player. But, I mean, when he's got the ball, he's just better than Shea. Like, that's it. That's it.
We didn't see it in the playoffs. We did.
Okay, whatever.
I didn't see it this year.
And this year. I mean, but so the rest of us have Shea at number one, Luka at number one for Nick. I was close to making an argument for Brunson over Luka, even as well, but I wasn't going to go that crazy. I did my thing last year with putting Luka at. I think I put Shea. I think I had the same order as one, Luka at 2, and I said last year I want him to prove that he is number one. He still has to prove it, in my opinion. But I said, it isn't crazy to say that Luka is number one. I mean, he's still a great player. Just honestly, for his standards, which even at his worst last season, he averaged 28, 8, and 8. Like, even at his worst standards, at the lowest, he's the second best point guard in the league. I mean, he's incredible.
Yeah, I think I had Luka last year at 1, and this year left me with a salty in my mouth. I don't know. I didn't like it. I
might have had Maxey at 1 last year.
You probably did.
But yeah, that is our top 10 point guards list, man. Lots of fun on this one. Lots of great point guards. We really mentioned all the guys that were borderline. De'Aaron Fox is something Joey joked about. He's had a very good year, not good enough to make the list. Jamal Murray. But yeah, that's our top 10 point guards list.
Point guards are the deepest position, so it's always the most highly debated.
You mean power forward, right?
Oh. I can't wait for power forwards as well.
Well, hey, if you're still watching at the end of this video, leave a comment with your own top 10 point guard list and check it out.
Please do. That would be awesome. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you stay tuned for our next episode where we will do the top 10 shooting guards in the league. That'll be a lot of fun. But for now, again, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe for more NBA content. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.